right on the very top. The game would last the whole day. Warming up games in the morning, like soft games, and then in the afternoon, the gladiator fight. You know, gladiators were wrestlers, well trained, professional. Originally, they were slaves, and then they started taking them from the ex-military or prisoners of war, and these people became, through the time, because the game lasted for almost 400 years, they started taking them from the group of gladiators because of fame, because of the glory, because even on money and bets, because lots of people were betting on the games, and gladiators were taking a little bit of a percentage of it. So this was an industry of entertainment, not really just for killing. So the idea is that people would come here only to kill. It's not 100% accurate because people here are to entertain through killing others. All right? And this is nice. But hey, I'm here to entertain you.
Yeah.
Oh, people died. I'm sorry about that. But one other detail is that, and this is very interesting, unlike the movies, gladiators were not fighting to the death. Consider this with me. There were 4 schools of gladiators, like 4 clubs, the Real Madrid or the Barca, and people were coming and again trained. Most of the gladiators were not coming from the city, because cities, as like me, they're not too big. They were coming from Northern Africa, Eastern European, all right, and all these places, big, tall muscles that were trained, that would have a special diet, special health care, promotion, marketing, all right, image supervisor, and all the things of modern days. They have something similar to it in the scale of those days. So no one is willing to sacrifice his asset, because this was an asset for the emperor. All right? If you're having 10 games, 20 people are fighting, you're not going to kill 10 and lose your asset, because you need 7 years to develop a well-trained gladiator. All right?
It's like professional league.
Absolutely. So those people were entertaining. And how would you know who's the winner and who's the loser? There's a referee who would stop the game when
Ah,
So it's
okay.
like boxing.
Yeah.
it is like wrestling.
Wrestling.
Wrestling,
Alright.
yes,
So those
yes.
people, how the game would end. When a wounded gladiator falls on the ground, he's going to do this. Stop. I surrender. All right, and then a referee is going to declare a winner and a loser. Of course, there were games to the death, and there were during special occasions. Hey, it's St. Patrick Day. Let's kill people. All right, or it's Thanksgiving, when in a special, of course, pagan occasion, there were this kind of fight to the death. Now we're going to carry on. The gentleman is asking me a very complex question. It's not complicated, it's complex. As Christians, we've been told that this place was the place of Christian execution. As an archaeologist, it's not proven that it was used for this. Christians who died here, they died as criminals, and I'm going to explain in a second, during the lunch execution period. Because during lunch break, when the ruling society would go to the Palatine Hill for lunchtime, all right, a list of murder and criminals is going to be advanced, and they start reading, all right, one name after the other, okay, and those people are going to lose their life in a very creative manner. Creative in a sense, it should be entertaining, and it was more a mythological death. So, and the most common and frequent image was Icarus. You know, the guy who had wings. So that would bring them to the top and put on his shoulder as a pair of wax wings, and they're going to push him from the top and see if he can fly. And since no one can fly, they're going to smash on the floor, and people are going to have fun and learn the story of Icarus. And that was educational at the same time.
That's nice.
Alright, so we know that one of the bishops, Bishop Ignatius of Antioch, he died here. All right, and this is one of the very few that we know that were Christians and they died before it. But not a massive execution. Massive execution. So you see, in archaeology, history and archaeology, information are rather debatable. Oh, why? Because we dig, we discover something, and then someone else is going to dig and have a completely different. And this is the beauty of it, it's flexible. You still hang on to your theory until someone else, all right, comes and proves the contrary. There are different schools of archaeologists in Rome. I do belong to a new school in the sense that we're not younger than the others, but we are mainly foreigners. Because Italians, they do have a very emotional approach. Don't publish this because I'm not
Yes.
criticizing my,
Yeah, of
my
course.
colleagues.
Of course.
But you promised me to send it over. Can you send this to
Yes,
me?
yes, yes.
But is it yes, yes, or is it yes?
Former journalist.
No, but not
Because
anymore.
I got zillions of times people taking videos. I wouldn't mind.
Yes.
But I only ask him, would you send it over? And they all say yes, yes.
I'll send it over.
And I haven't seen anything. Somebody sent me, like he had a 20 minutes video and I got only a clip of 20 seconds. But at least it was something.
Yeah.
Let us see this.
I will
young
send
man.
you the link.
Is it also true that it's being flooded by with water during that time?
Okay. I was planning to do something historical. The gentleman is asking me technical questions. Are you into construction?
No.
Okay.
I just read it.
Okay, let me just tell you, there's so many fake news. But sometimes it's good to let the guys follow your guide. They're following the other guide and you're gonna be mixed. She's taking them somewhere else. She's taking them to the lions. Is it true that the Colosseum was flooded with water? When you tell people that it did not happen, they feel sad
Yeah.
the whole day, and they're actually sorry for the money they paid. All right, and the whole vacation. But let me just tell you something to be like halfway through. All right, let's slow down and give the other group the gap to walk away. We don't want to mix with these people, especially this tour leader wearing black. You know, I know him for 10 years now. I haven't seen his hat. He's always wearing a cap. Oh!
Yo, I got it on video.
He's the best. Lex is the best. He's my man. All right, let me just tell you this. The Colosseum was built in 8 years of time. 72 to
8 years.
roughly, right? It might be the end of 71, mid 71, but in 80 it was inaugurated, and that was the first part of it. And then the younger, with the two sons of the emperor who started up the construction, he added the top floor for slaves and prostitutes in extremely poor people because he had a petition. He'd been asked by the rich people, hey, I'm traveling from Israel, from Tunisia, from France, to watch the game. I'm coming with my slaves. I don't want them to hang around in the city. So we need to create this section for them, and this is what happened. And we do believe, and this is a theory, that that was an underground hole that was filled with water for the games. I do believe that the water games were like theater plays, and there were like small spots of water. It wasn't flooded with water because lately in 2008, my teacher, who's half Italian, half German, he checked on all the drainage system. So it was like a 3 years of calibration and assessment. All right. And he found out that the drain that is there is not going to be enough to absorb all that quantity of water. Of course, on YouTube it's doable, and you see it with graphics and animation. and you say, hey, look at the beautiful gate. But when you go and step inside,
It's
you find
impossible.
out, yeah. Well, it's either or, two schools. Somebody say, of course, yes. I would say, if yes, it was at the very beginning for 1 or 2 or 3 years maximum. Okay? Let us talk less about technical issues. I already hear somebody yawning. Would you ask this gentleman to go to the back and let the lady? Do you want to ask something else? How about they play tectonics under the Colosseum?
The ladies would want to know how
Shopping?
how do they shop back then.
Well, you ask Danny. Danny is good at shopping.
Do they exchange slaves with tunic or
Slaves were-
gold?
Now, this street is a modern street. When I say modern, it's really modern. It's 100 years old. Because, yeah. Well, you know, when you say modern in Rome, you say how back in time you go to the Renaissance. It's 550 years old. Okay? And everything is relative. When I'm doing the Vatican museums, and I got people with me, and after we're done with the statues, we enter in a section from the 1535, and I tell them this is modern stuff. It's 1531. And I got really amazed. Are you coming from a young society? I haven't asked you where's the most proof coming from?
We're coming from a young society. It's the Philippines, a former Spanish colony in Asia.
All right, we go straight. All right, so not to mix. Well, the Philippines, but you don't have a historical heritage in the background. Like
Yeah.
you don't talk about 2,000 years back or something like this.
No, no.
Okay, so I can understand. You know, here, Rome, and you get always to understand that I put always myself on the Roman shoes. Because this is it. Look at this wonderful panorama in front of you.
Yeah. Plaza Venetia.
Before we get to Piazza Venezia, on the left-hand side, this is what we call the Roman Forum. All right, I'll let Flavia go on the other side.
Okay.
And then we're going to turn left later on. So what you see is a combination of all the new. The first one that's heavily supported is a basilica, but this is a Roman basilica. It's not a Christian basilica. A Roman basilica was a courthouse. Please watch it, all right? Where are you going? Are you going to help the lady?